Master Chief Ryan Steele Patterson inquired with a patronizing grin whether the woman was disoriented as he observed a young lady dressed in non-military attire entering the off-limits SEAL training grounds at Naval Base Coronado. He informed her that this zone was exclusively for authorized military personnel.
Eyes on target.
The dozen SEAL operatives laughed while witnessing her advancement toward their revered shooting area, completely unaware that within precisely 8 minutes, she would demolish a shooting accuracy record that had remained intact for a full decade. Lieutenant Emma Ghost Sullivan moved silently across the firing range at Naval Base Coronado. Her casual civilian attire and modest bearing gave the impression she was entirely misplaced among the distinguished SEAL personnel. At 27 years of age, she was formally present at the installation as part of an inter-service collaboration initiative, although the SEAL squad remained oblivious to her genuine credentials.
Eyes on target.
The Coronado facility held legendary status within armed forces communities, representing an advanced installation where the Navy's most exceptional warriors refined their shooting abilities. The facility's interior displayed countless photographs documenting celebrated SEAL missions, extraordinary long-distance hits, and inscriptions honoring personnel who had attained mythical recognition through their marksmanship excellence.
Move out!
Master Chief Patterson persisted, his voice conveying the command of an individual who had devoted 15 years transforming average soldiers into exceptional fighters, reminding her once more that this sector was designated for qualified military personnel exclusively.
Eyes on target.
Behind his position, 12 SEAL operators prepared for their routine weekly shooting contest, a custom that had continued uninterrupted for more than 10 years. The challenge revolved around one specific accomplishment: Patterson's celebrated 1,200-meter shot executed exactly 1 decade prior during optimal atmospheric circumstances. This particular shot had attained mythical proportions within SEAL communities, symbolizing the ultimate peak of marksmanship precision their installation could generate. Petty Officer Marcus Kane questioned with thinly veiled mockery whether she had arrived for the clerical tour as he positioned his Barrett M82A1 rifle on the precision mounting apparatus, suggesting the souvenir shop was located at the primary structure. Staff Sergeant David Thunder Brooks gestured toward the viewing section with clear dismissiveness, informing her she was permitted to observe from behind the protected boundary, though emphasizing this represented sophisticated tactical instruction involving weaponry demanding comprehensive authorization and numerous years of practical knowledge.
On me!
Chief Warrant Officer Tyler Viper Coleman laughed while modifying his weapon's optical equipment, expressing hope she had remembered her photography device because she was about to observe some of the military's most exceptional shooting skills. Emma examined the facility configuration with silent attention. The firing stations were flawlessly constructed, featuring concrete platforms, precision mounting systems, and sophisticated targeting apparatus. However, what captured her focus was the respectful manner the SEAL operators referenced Patterson's decade-old record achievement. Patterson declared with evident satisfaction, indicating the far-off 1,200-meter objective and describing it as the legendary shot requiring perfect atmospheric circumstances, perfect equipment calibration, and perfect execution where everything needed to be completely flawless.
Team report
Kane
status.
positioned himself behind his Barrett weapon, his actions rehearsed and self-assured, explaining that every SEAL passing through this installation attempted to match the chief's record, though most failed significantly. Brooks clarified while settling into his own firing stance that success involved more than simple marksmanship, requiring comprehension of atmospheric circumstances, computation of environmental variables, and preservation of mental discipline under duress. Emma observed the arrangements with expert curiosity, taking note of the wind indicators positioned at regular intervals throughout the facility, the advanced atmospheric monitoring apparatus, and the digital ballistic computation devices the operators utilized to adjust for environmental influences. Kane announced his readiness, his respiration regulated and his posture textbook accurate. The Barrett M82A1 discharged with a thunderous sound, its .50 caliber projectile traveling toward the distant objective at approximately 3,000 feet per second. Through the powerful observation telescope, the facility officer announced the outcome, a near shot but unsuccessful, approximately 4 inches below and 2 inches to the left. Kane expressed professional frustration, noting the wind had altered precisely as he discharged. Brooks assumed his station next, implementing final modifications to his optical device based on Kane's near success. His discharge was similarly expert and similarly proximate but equally unsuccessful. The observer reported high and right by 6 inches. Coleman advanced for his effort, his assurance strengthened by the accurate information from the preceding attempts. His projectile struck even nearer to the objective center. The observer declared 3 inches high and precisely accurate for wind adjustment, announcing it as the finest shot thus far that day. Sequentially, the SEAL operators executed their endeavors at Patterson's legendary objective. Each discharge exhibited remarkable proficiency in preparation. Each near success demonstrated the challenge's difficulty, though none achieved their target. Following 12 efforts by 12 distinguished operators, the 1,200-meter record persisted undefeated. Patterson remarked on the difficult circumstances that day, observing the inconsistent wind affecting all attempts, explaining this demonstrated why the record had endured for 10 years, requiring absolute perfection in equipment, circumstances, marksmen, and slight fortune. Emma had been monitoring each effort attentively, observing the wind configurations, watching the heat distortion effects from warmth ascending from the desert surface, computing the environmental elements causing the persistent near successes. What she perceived indicated the circumstances were genuinely quite favorable for extended-range shooting, though the operators were implementing subtle miscalculations in their environmental computations. She spoke softly, her voice barely audible across the facility, inquiring whether she might attempt a discharge herself. The response was instantaneous and foreseeable. Kane regarded her with clear amusement, informing her this represented a .50 caliber precision weapon and wasn't particularly novice accommodating apparatus. Brooks acknowledged with tolerant condescension that these armaments demanded considerable upper torso power simply to maintain steadiness, with the recoil potentially inflicting serious damage without proper readiness. However, Emma was already advancing toward the Barrett weapon with actions suggesting acquaintance rather than inquisitiveness. Patterson expressed increasing worry, stating that weapon platform necessitated comprehensive safety instruction. Emma retrieved the 35-pound rifle as though it were a conventional carbine, inspecting the optical configurations and verifying the chamber with clear proficiency. Someone whispered in astonishment, observing her manipulation of the substantial weapon with absolute assurance. Patterson inquired carefully whether she had utilized Barrett platforms previously. She responded affirmatively with some experience, already assuming a firing stance that was textbook accurate according to military precision shooting principles. The SEAL operators assembled behind her, their mockery substituted by authentic interest as they observed her preparation for a discharge with actions suggesting comprehensive instruction. She questioned softly which objective she should engage. Kane proposed attempting the 600-meter objective initially, presuming she would require progression toward extended distances. Emma examined the 600-meter objective, then redirected her focus toward the 1,200-meter objective that had defeated 12 distinguished operators that morning, requesting permission to attempt the record shot if acceptable. The quietness that ensued persisted exactly 5 seconds. Patterson articulated gradually that this represented an exceptionally challenging shot where professional SEAL operators possessing years of proficiency struggled with that objective. She acknowledged understanding, already implementing optical modifications based on her observations of the preceding efforts. Brooks advanced with clear concern, informing her that the mental burden of attempting a legendary shot could influence even veteran marksmen, emphasizing no dishonor existed in commencing with nearer objectives. However, Emma was already positioned, her respiration regulated, her posture accurate, her vision aligned with the optical device in a firing position exhibiting years of sophisticated instruction. The SEAL operators observed with fascination as she implemented final modifications to the weapon's optical equipment, adjusting for environmental elements with accuracy suggesting comprehensive ballistic understanding. She declared her readiness softly. The facility became silent, excluding the sound of wind indicators moving and the remote humming of climate control systems.
Team report status.
The Barrett M82A1 discharged with devastating accuracy. 1,200 meters distant, Patterson's legendary objective detonated in a cloud of particulate matter and fragments. Absolute silence pervaded the instruction facility. Coleman began to speak but halted, unable to complete his statement. The observer confirmed a strike at 1,200 meters, his voice expressing incredulity, announcing dead center, perfect shot, and record matched. The SEAL operators stared at Emma with reactions spanning from astonishment to complete disbelief. The decade-old facility record had just been equaled by a visiting personnel member they had presumed was a spectator. Patterson spoke gradually, his voice containing a combination of admiration and professional inquisitiveness, questioning her exact military specialization. Emma responded with a quiet smile while securing the weapon, revealing she specialized in counter-sniper missions with the 75th Ranger Regiment and was actually present to inform their squad about a critical assignment. Before anyone could respond, crisis notifications commenced throughout the naval installation. Emergency illumination flashed across the facility as Commander Sarah Hayes rushed onto the facility, her expression severe with immediacy.
Team report status.
She commanded
Eyes
all
on target.
SEAL personnel to assemble
Hold
for prompt
positions.
deployment,
Moving to flank.
announcing they had American captives in antagonistic territory with mission information commencing instantly. The relaxed environment terminated immediately as 12 SEAL operators became alert, their competitive shooting abandoned facing actual combat emergency. Patterson questioned the circumstances instantly, transforming from facility instructor to battle commander. Hayes declared with grave seriousness that a terrorist group had seized 12 American humanitarian workers in Afghanistan, with intelligence suggesting their confinement in a mountain installation featuring advanced protections and numerous sniper stations.
Eyes on target.
Emma advanced with
Hold
professional
positions.
command,
Moving to flank.
identifying herself as Lieutenant Sullivan from the 75th Rangers and stating her belief she was their designated counter-sniper expert for this mission. Hayes verified on her restricted device, confirming Lieutenant Sullivan would supply extended-range fire assistance and neutralize enemy snipers throughout the retrieval operation. Kane regarded Emma with fresh comprehension and developing admiration, confirming she was present for the Afghan assignment. She acknowledged affirmatively, her gentle voice now possessing the command of demonstrated capability. She explained the terrorists had stationed at least 8 sniper squads in elevated stations surrounding the installation, noting standard SEAL offensive methods would produce substantial losses unless those stations were eliminated initially. Patterson evaluated Emma with the professional judgment of someone who had recently observed remarkable shooting, questioning how she intended to confront 8 enemy snipers stationed at unknown distances in mountainous landscape. Emma looked at the Barrett M82A1 still warm from her record-matching shot, responding that she would accomplish what she had just executed, though with objectives that returned fire in landscape that didn't facilitate operations. 3 hours subsequently, 4 MH-60 Blackhawk helicopters departed from Naval Base Coronado transporting SEAL Team 6 toward the most hazardous hostage retrieval assignment of their professions. Emma Sullivan occupied the primary aircraft, her customized Barrett weapon across her legs, encircled by SEAL operators who now comprehended they were collaborating with someone genuinely remarkable. The journey to the Afghan installation required 6 hours over antagonistic landscape, traversing international boundaries and navigating through airspace dominated by forces that would eliminate American aircraft immediately. Through her night observation apparatus, Emma could perceive the objective installation situated in a depression between 2 mountain formations, a strengthened installation encircled by natural protective stations supplying perfect shelter for enemy snipers. The mission information over their communication devices stated the primary goal was hostage retrieval with the secondary goal being elimination of terrorist command. Intelligence verified 12 American humanitarian workers were confined in the central structure. As they neared the depression, the mission coordinator supplied tactical information, confirming enemy sniper stations had been detected at 8 positions with distances varying from 600 to 1400 meters, requiring neutralization before SEAL squads could approach the installation. Emma analyzed the landscape through her sophisticated optical device, detecting each enemy station and computing the environmental elements that would influence her discharges. The mountain position generated complicated wind configurations, the elevation influenced atmospheric compression, and the darkness restricted observation even with night observation apparatus. The pilot declared 6 minutes to objective. Emma commenced her arrangements, inspecting her apparatus and reviewing the discharge sequence that would eliminate obstacles for the SEAL offensive. 8 enemy snipers stationed at varying distances and heights, all anticipating opportunities to eliminate American rescuers. The update indicated 2 minutes to ideal firing station. Through her optical device, Emma could observe the initial enemy sniper station, a stone formation at approximately 800 meters where an enemy marksman was examining the atmosphere for approaching aircraft. The announcement came for 30 seconds to confrontation distance. Emma regulated her respiration and assumed the accurate firing stance, her weapon steady despite the helicopter's displacement. She communicated over the communication device her readiness for sniper neutralization. What transpired subsequently became mythical in SEAL Team 6 Chronicles. Emma's initial discharge eliminated the enemy sniper protecting the primary approach path before he could discharge on the helicopters. Her subsequent discharge neutralized the marksman stationed to confront landing aircraft. Her third discharge eliminated the sniper who had been designated to obstruct hostage displacement. However, she was merely commencing. Her fourth discharge eliminated an enemy sniper who was relocating to confront the SEAL squads. Her fifth discharge neutralized the marksman protecting the installation's posterior departure. Her sixth discharge eliminated a sniper who had been organizing enemy protective discharge.
Team report status.
Her seventh discharge eliminated the enemy's most hazardous marksman stationed at 1400 meters with an unobstructed discharge field across the complete depression. Her eighth discharge neutralized the final sniper, eliminating all enemy surveillance stations and rendering the installation vulnerable against SEAL offensive methods. 8 enemy snipers eliminated in fewer than 3 minutes from a moving helicopter at distances surpassing 800 meters.
On me!
She communicated with distinctive composure that all sniper stations were neutralized and SEAL squads had unobstructed approach trajectories. The helicopter offensive proceeded perfectly. Without enemy sniper protection, the terrorist protectors were rapidly overwhelmed by SEAL methods, instruction, and armament capability. All 12 American captives were retrieved without losses, and the terrorist command was eliminated. Throughout the return journey, Master Chief Patterson approached Emma with manifestations of reverence and professional admiration, stating that what she accomplished that evening, 8 moving objectives from a helicopter in battle circumstances, transcended remarkable marksmanship and redefined what was achievable. Kane acknowledged emphatically, still absorbing what he had observed, noting the facility record that morning was remarkable but battle shooting of that caliber was mythical.
Eyes on target.
Brooks evaluated Emma with clear inquisitiveness, questioning where she acquired such shooting ability and noting her methods were dissimilar to anything they had encountered. Emma maintained her weapon with the identical systematic accuracy she had exhibited throughout the day, explaining the 75th Rangers instructs precision shooting under hostile circumstances including mountains, helicopters, and battle strain, training for all scenarios.
On me!
At Naval Base Coronado, the assignment evaluation concentrated equally on Emma's shooting execution as on the accomplished hostage retrieval. Commander Hayes declared to the gathered SEAL squad that Lieutenant Sullivan eliminated 8 enemy snipers from distances and circumstances most marksmen would regard as unachievable, with her execution enabling the accomplished completion of an assignment intelligence evaluations calculated as possessing fewer than 30% probability of accomplishment. The information chamber was occupied with SEAL operators, assistance personnel, and superior officers who had arrived to comprehend what transpired throughout the Afghan assignment. Emma remained quietly in the forward position, still dressed in her tactical apparatus, while Hayes displayed satellite photography and discharge examination of her execution. Master Chief Patterson rose gradually, his demeanor thoroughly altered from the individual who had rejected her as a spectator 12 hours previously, stating that what Sullivan accomplished that day surpassed remarkable marksmanship and enabled the retrieval of 12 American civilians while completing an assignment that had been regarded as nearly unachievable. The chamber erupted in recognition, something Emma had never anticipated when she had arrived for what was intended to be a customary inter-service examination. Kane advanced with clear respect, noting her facility execution that morning was remarkable but her battle shooting that evening was mythical, questioning whether she could instruct their precision marksmen in her methods. However, Emma's answer was distinctively modest, explaining that every military division possessed specialized abilities, with Rangers concentrating on precision shooting under hostile circumstances while they concentrated on proximity battle and tactical offensive, all supporting the identical assignment. Patterson proceeded to the facility record display and inscribed a notation beside the 1200-meter registration. Adjacent to his own identification and decade-old accomplishment, he documented that the record was equaled by Lieutenant Sullivan from the 75th Rangers, with battle execution surpassing all anticipations. Emma wasn't completed exhibiting her capabilities. She questioned whether the chief objected to her attempting something before departing. She returned to the shooting boundary with the Barrett, though this occasion she wasn't focusing on the 1200-meter objective that had characterized distinction at Coronado for a decade. She was focusing on an experimental objective at 1500 meters, a distance nobody had ever genuinely attempted at the installation. Patterson expressed authentic worry, noting that surpassed the conceptual maximum distance for this installation, with the objective scarcely observable even through powerful optical equipment. She responded softly that she would prefer to attempt regardless, implementing optical modifications with actions suggesting she had computed the discharge throughout her previous observations. The SEAL operators assembled behind her, their informal observation substituted by concentrated professional curiosity. They were about to observe either remarkable failure or a shooting accomplishment that would eclipse anything in their proficiency. Emma assumed the accurate firing stance, regulating her respiration and coordinating her observation alignment with the far objective that manifested as minimal more than a point through her optical device. The Barrett discharged with its distinctive thunder, 1,500 meters distant, the experimental objective
report
disintegrated
status.
in a
Eyes
cloud
on
of
target.
particulate matter and fragments,
positions.
observable
Moving to
even
flank.
to unassisted observation. Absolute silence pervaded the instruction facility as every individual present absorbed what they had recently observed. The observer declared with reverence a verified strike at 1,500 meters, dead center, establishing a fresh facility record. The SEAL operators stared at Emma with manifestations that had altered from rejection to astonishment to something resembling veneration. Kane articulated gradually that the discharge surpassed anything they believed achievable at this installation. Brooks acknowledged with clear admiration that 1,500
Team report
meters with a
status.
singular
Eyes on
discharge
target.
represented more than
Hold
marksmanship
positions.
but was
Moving to
mythical.
flank.
6 months subsequently, the SEAL instruction installation at Coronado had been altered under Emma's impact. Her shooting methods were now conventional curriculum for all SEAL precision marksmen, and her facility records had motivated a fresh generation of extended distance experts. The facility where she had demolished a decade-old record now exhibited numerous objectives at distances previously regarded as unachievable with comprehensive instruction initiatives that instructed Emma's environmental computation approaches and sophisticated shooting methods. However, more significantly,
Team
her
report
tactical
status.
innovations
Eyes on
were
target.
preserving American existences in
positions.
battle
Moving to
missions
flank.
internationally. SEAL squads, Army Rangers, and Marine divisions were accomplishing assignments that had previously failed due to enemy sniper obstruction. Lieutenant Emma Ghost Sullivan had been designated to a fresh special missions division that concentrated on counter-sniper missions across numerous regions. Her flawless assignment chronicle incorporated accomplished sniper neutralization in 12 distinct nations with enemy marksmen eliminated at distances that redefined what American forces regarded as tactically achievable. The woman they had rejected as a disoriented spectator
report
had
status.
become the most
Eyes on
admired
target.
marksmanship instructor
Hold
in the
positions.
special
Moving
missions
to flank.
community, demonstrating that distinction can manifest in unexpected circumstances and that records persist only until someone with the appropriate abilities determines to demolish them. Her inheritance continued in every SEAL sniper who acquired her methods, in every accomplished assignment completed with her discharge assistance, and in every unachievable discharge that became achievable because she had exhibited what human accuracy could accomplish under accurate circumstances. The facility champion had arrived at Coronado for what everyone believed was a customary examination. However, she had departed
Team
behind a
report
permanent
status.
alteration
Eyes on
of what the
target.
world's most distinguished
positions.
fighters believed
Moving to
was
flank.
achievable with the appropriate instruction, the appropriate apparatus, and the appropriate individual behind the activation mechanism. Occasionally the individual you minimize is the person who demonstrates what you've been absent. Occasionally the visitor you reject is the instructor you never comprehended you required. And occasionally demolishing a decade-old record is merely the commencement of demonstrating what genuine accuracy resembles when everything depends on executing the unachievable discharge. Lieutenant Emma Sullivan had demonstrated all of these verities with marksmanship that would be analyzed and replicated
Team
for
report
numerous
status.
years to
Eyes on
arrive.
target.